Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you my top fragrances for fall. I am so pumped. It's so crazy because I'm always so excited about spring and summer. And then like closer to the end of August, like at first I'm like, I don't care about fall at all. All of a sudden I start jonesing for all those deeper, darker, delicious, sexy fragrances for fall. And so now we're starting to get into that weather. Not quite, but pretty close. So I wanted to share with you my top picks for this fall. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. If you are already a part of this community, thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. Love the way you support this channel. Love your positivity. You are an amazing community. And without further ado, let's get into this. This one is one of the ones that I talk about the most, so I thought I'd get it out of the way first. But seriously, it's a freaking awesome fragrance, and to me, it's perfect for the fall. Like, it would be one of my signature type fragrances, except it's not good for spring and summer. It gets a little heavy, but I am in love with this fragrance, and it is Lexstas by Nina Ricci. Now this one is discontinued. You can still get it on the discount websites. Everything's linked down below, so you're always welcome to use the link. I get a small commission if you choose to buy something. Never any pressure. It doesn't cost you anything. You can use the links if you choose, but you don't have to. But it's there for your convenience as well. Anyway, Lexstas, love this one. This is my favorite out of the whole Lexstas line. I know that the Lexstas, I think it's called Absolutio, it's in the black bottle, the pink bottle, those two get a lot of the hype, but honestly, the OG is just amazing. Now, all the Lexstas line was created by Francis Kurkdjian, so that's kind of neat. The fragrance is just absolutely a beautiful kind of gourmand rose. So this has raspberry, it's got rose, it's got caramel in it, long lasting, projects beautifully. It's a little bit more of a mature fragrance. So when I say that, it's a little bit more old school, not quite like a current modern smelling fragrance. That said, it's so beautiful, it's sensual, it's classy, it's feminine. I love this one. I love how long it lasts on the skin. I love the way it projects. It gets compliments. So I just think this is a gorgeous fragrance. If I were to choose out of the line, I would choose this and Chant d'Extase. I'll leave Chant d'Extase linked down below if I can find it. That one is more aquatic, caramel, not for everyone. But this one is definitely my favorite. I just think it's so, so beautiful. It's that perfect daytime, sweet, feminine floral fragrance that works perfect in kind of the cooler months, and you're gonna get a decent projection out of it. There's still some substance there. So beautiful. Now, while I'm talking florals and kind of OGs, Jasmine Wisp, I put this out in the summer. I never wear it in the summer. To me, this is too heavy for the summer, but it's amazing for fall and winter. It is a bombastic, slightly scratchy, crazy amount of fruity situations in this. So I think it's passion fruit is the main thing that I smell in here. There's coconut, there's tons of stuff in here, except for jasmine. So it's called jasmine flower, but there's no actual jasmine in here. There's white florals, so probably flowers of some sort, maybe jasmines are in there, but in any case, this is loud, obnoxious. It reminds me a little bit of like that Fran Drescher, like beautiful, but kind of obnoxious. That's this, but this is a powerhouse. So this is gonna get you 12 hours easy. I was flying to Vancouver. I put this on at 7 in the morning and I was going through the checkout at 6 or 7 at night. And someone said, oh my goodness, you smell amazing. It was Jasmine Wisp. So this thing projects forever. I wasn't even smelling it anymore and I had a freaking coat on and they could still smell this luscious, delicious fragrance. This isn't for the faint of heart. It smells pretty potent, but if you can get around that, oh my goodness, this one's amazing for the cooler months. So the next fragrance, it's new to my collection. I was trying to decide between this one and another one. They were close, but I chose this one. I have so many that I could share, but anyway, Sugar Leather. It's pretty hyped in the fragrance world because it's a rather new release. But this is a beautiful kind of sugary gourmand leather. Like it's an edible leather fragrance. This has caramel in it. There's labdanum, there's leather, there's some cinnamon in here. What I get primarily is just caramel and leather, but it's somehow, it smells like an edible, like somehow an edible leather. It almost smells like, you know, if you got into a new car that was just decked out in leather, so it smells really supple. And you have these beautiful leather gloves on. Nothing smells super strong, slightly perfumey leather somehow, very delicate and classy leather. And then you get an order of, you know, those donut holes that are covered in cinnamon and sugar, and they're fresh and hot out of the oven. That's kind of what this reminds me of, like a mixture of the leather and powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar donuts, kind of. It's so decadent, but somehow I find this classy. So some leather fragrances smell naughty. This doesn't smell naughty. This smells classy. This smells somehow bougie, with a little bit of fun thrown in there. So gorgeous fragrance, so warm. This one's very sweet, but just absolutely delicious, like gorgeous. In fact, I'm gonna wear this one today. I can't decide what I want to wear. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's the one. So this, oh my goodness, smells so, so good. Beautiful sillage. What I love about Unui Nomad is they oftentimes last quite a while. They have decent projection, but they never feel sticky or heavy. They somehow always remain quite airy and spacious. So it's just an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Honestly, this year, I would say Unui Nomad has been my favorite, definitely my favorite brand discovery of this year. Love them. So to get a discovery kit and try them, my favorites are the ones that I have. So Sugar Leather, Suma Oriental, Jardin de Misfa, and Love at First Sight. Those are my 4 favorites, I would say. There's a few others in the collection that I really like, but I'm just so impressed with the way they kind of somehow make the fragrance smooth, yet spacious. Like, I don't even know how that's a thing, but they just knock it out of the park as far as beautiful, sweet, decadent fragrances that never, ever get cloying. So gorgeous. Next fragrance that I can't wait to wear this fall is Santel Royal by Guerlain. Now, first of all, I love this, like I think it's Les Absoluts d'Orient fragrances from Guerlain. They are, I like so many of them in this line. So the bottle style is kind of like this. I like the way the bottles look. This fragrance is kind of like a typical rose oud, very smooth and sweet and decadent and woody and rosy, and this one's gorgeous. Like, if you want to smell, like, I imagine somehow so a woman, she is an absolute amazing cellist, and she walks into the hall where she's playing. She's got a whole symphony backing her. She has this gorgeous kind of almost like a burnt burgundy, so an orangey burgundy velvet gown on, and she plays the cello, and she looks so demure and sophisticated, and then she sits down, and when I tell you she owns that cello, she owns that cello. She puts so much passion into that song as she plays it, it defies description, and she smells like Santel Royal. This one is rosy. There's a little hint of fruit. There's cinnamon in here. There's kind of an oudy sandalwood feel. It's not a heavy oud, but it's just kind of that sweet. It's an oud that is palatable for many people, I'd say. But you have to like oud in some capacity to enjoy this fragrance. I just think it's beautiful. This is definitely unisex, but I personally think it smells amazing on women. Definitely a powerhouse, like this is also like a pirate ship type fragrance. So some pirate queen would rock this fragrance and she would smell amazing and you wouldn't want to mess with her. So gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance, sweet, decadent, spicy, oudy rose fragrance. Gorgeous, so cozy, so delicious, but bougie at the same time. Next fragrance that is so amazing for the fall is Shirgi by Serge Lutens. Now this is a tobacco fragrance. This has honey, it's got tobacco and hay, and I would say those are the main notes that you get in this fragrance. It definitely has a bit of incense that is present as well, but mainly you're getting kind of almost a cherry tobacco feel. So I know there's no cherry in this. I don't know if it's the color of the juice, but somehow it feels a bit cherry to me. So it would smell like a honeyed cherry tobacco with some hay. So this one feels a little bit drier. Just a gorgeous fragrance. This one's a powerhouse. It lasts a long, long time on my skin. I don't know how the projection is on this one because I've never really had anyone comment on it when I've worn it. Maybe that's the bad side. It's just a gorgeous fragrance. It's deep, it's sensual. I think it sits closer to the skin, but I could be wrong. But it just smells, yeah, sensual would be the word I use. I just love that kind of cherry, smoky, honeyed tobacco feel. Gorgeous. So it's kind of sensual, a little bit alluring, but I think it sits closer to the skin, so it'd be good for special encounters. But yeah, love this fragrance. This next one is an underrated gem in my opinion, and it is Twilight Shimmer by Michael Kors. First of all, the bottle is gorgeous. It's got kind of this dusty pink, and then the bottle is purple actually. It looks black out of the light, but in the light it looks quite purpley. So beautiful bottle, honestly. But the fragrance inside is so good. So this has plum, it's got oud. I think there's some red fruits in there, but primarily what you're getting is plum, oud, and praline. And it is delicious. So the plum is definitely that sexy, juicy, ripe plum, but paired with the oud and the praline, like absolutely gorgeous. So you know you've got something like a Lancome oud bouquet, and some people think, oh, it's gourmand because everyone talks about the praline, and then they get it and they're disappointed because it's too smoky or heavy of an oud. This is the sweetest, most palatable oud you're going to ever come across. So it's definitely got the oud in it, but paired with that praline and that plum, oh my goodness, it's so good. So it's a very rich feeling fragrance because of the plum in particular. To me, this one is very kind of decadent, yet somehow cozy and warm because of the plum. Honestly, this is such a great fragrance. I don't hear many people talk about it, but if you want to dabble in oud, this is a great beginner oud in my opinion. And with that plum, especially if you love plum, like the plum smells like a stewed spicy plum. So it's like this stewed spicy plum with a sweet, sweet oud and pralines. Oh, like so delicious. Like this could be like a Christmas smelling fragrance. To me, but it's perfect for kind of those cozy, blustery days. Amazing. Next fragrance that I will be rocking this fall is Bade'e Oud Amethyst by Lattafa. Now this one is supposedly supposed to smell like Atomic Rose. I don't think I've ever smelled Atomic Rose, but I've had other people weigh in and say that they don't feel like it smells like Atomic Rose at all. So I find with Lattafa, some of their, their dupe-ish type fragrances are hit and miss. But for what it is, so not as a dupe, but just standing on its own, first of all, I love this bottle. The bottle has some sort of kind of a smooth finish. So it feels, I don't know, it just feels kind of neat. I love just the overall aesthetic of this bottle. The fragrance is an interesting one. It's definitely a rose oud combination. It doesn't have a whole lot of sweetness to me, and it doesn't have any spiciness. So where I find something like Santel Royal to be a rose that's sweet and spicy and oudy, this rose is more kind of bright, and it's a little bit metallic. It's quite synthetic. That said, I actually really enjoy this fragrance. It is a beast of a fragrance. So this I would want to save more for those cooler days, cooler blustery days. This one is certainly not blind buy worthy because it's synthetic. It smells metallic to me. So the rose, sometimes I don't even know how to explain what a metallic rose smells like, but if you smelt a jammy rose, if you smelt a dewy rose, if you smelt a fresh rose, if you smelt a dry rose, and then you smell something that's a little bit more synthetic and almost cold feeling, it's more of a metallic rose in my opinion. So this is a colder smelling fragrance, but somehow it's substantial and quite addictive. So I know I didn't make this one sound very good. It's different. You gotta like rose oud, and you gotta be okay with a metallic or synthetic smelling rose. But it's actually like once it dries on the skin, it's really, really quite beautiful, and it lasts forever. So not for the faint of heart. Your typical kind of screechy Middle Eastern type fragrance for sure, but definitely worth checking out. I've got 3 more. This one, I was so excited to pull it out, and it is Amethyst Perfumes Absolutio. This one, it's like a Christmas version of Baccarat Rouge 540. So Baccarat Rouge 540, I've never been a huge fan. Like, it's okay, like it's nice. I can appreciate it. I don't think it smells like Band-Aids or a dentist's office like some people find, but it doesn't really move me at my core for whatever reason. I like it, but it doesn't really move me. Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, that one definitely like better, but this is my preference. This has a Baccarat feel. I'm pretty sure it's just the saffron that's giving it that feel. But this has saffron, it's got apple, it's got toffee. There's cinnamon, there's almonds in here. I think there's some caramel. So it's a delicious kind of gourmand fragrance. It smells very spicy, sweet, and decadent. I find it very cozy, and I just love the cinnamon in this one, honestly. The cinnamon with the toffee and the caramel, it's just fantastic. And yeah, it's got a little bit of that Baccarat vibe, but a little bit more of a spicy Baccarat. So love this fragrance. Can't wait to wear it this fall. Next fragrance that I absolutely love for this time of year, it's uber cozy, and it is Milk Plus by Commodity. Now this one, it has marshmallows, it's got milk in it, there's some woods in here, a little bit of muskiness. This one's interesting because there is a sweetness, but I wouldn't consider it a sweet fragrance. I would consider it more woody, powdery. It smells almost like something like By the Fireplace, but you've pared back the vanilla and you've taken the smoke away. So it's just warm and kind of milky and a little bit powdery and somehow absolutely cozy. It almost has a leathery feel. Like when I smell this, I can see where a person might think that there's a little bit of leather. There isn't, but there is kind of a leather feel. I think it comes from kind of a little bit of a smokiness that's in here somehow. But it's sweet without ever being too sweet. So you definitely need to sniff this. If at all possible, you need to give this a sniff because I just think it's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of complex. And like, I just think warm sweater, scarf, tall boots, walking with the orange leaves. This would be the fragrance I would want to put on for sure. And the last one, I'm addicted to it. Like, I'm seriously addicted to this fragrance. And it is Musc Noir Rose for Her by Narciso Rodriguez. If you can smell this one, please do. It kind of reminds me of Lexstas. It's in the same family as Lexstas. It's rose, it's classy, it's sophisticated, uber feminine, quite sexy. Like, seriously, the main stars in this fragrance are plum, rose, musk, and vanilla. That is what you get in here. So the musk doesn't feel like fuzzy musk. and it doesn't smell like clean musk. It feels like a soft kind of velvety musk. So it gives it a little bit of a soft edge. It feels velvety to me, this fragrance. The plum and the rose together, super decadent. I find plum to be a really sexy fruit. Somehow, it's just sexy. Like the smell of it, it's a little bit decadent and rich. Ooh, I love it. So the plum and the rose together is so beautiful in this fragrance. It feels like there'd be some wood in here, but there isn't. So it's just a soft kind of powdery, plummy rose that's extremely sexy. It's extremely sexy. So this, I don't think, like you can wear this in the evening, but you can totally wear it during the day. I've said this before. It's a mom. She's like really sophisticated, a little bit kind of mysterious. She talks kind of soft. She wears blouses and gold chains, and sometimes her blouse is a little too low cut. But she still is uber classy, and she seems to have it all together. That's this mom. This is the sexiest mom that ever lived, though. Like, seriously, this mom, I've said it before, all moms want to be this mom. And all men want this mom. Like, it's beautiful. So most feminine, alluring, sexy, but classy fragrance. This is in the same wheelhouse as this one. This one's sweeter. This one's got a little bit more of a soft, powdery feel. For fruits, this has raspberry, this has plum, but they kind of evoke that same feeling. Like powerful, very, very feminine sexuality. That's what these two are about. So love them both. And you have to have kind of some of those classy but warm, sultry fragrances for fall, in my opinion. So those are my fall fragrances. The only one that I'm a little iffy on for whatever reason, all of a sudden when I was sniffing it, is bade'e Oud, just because it's so different. So I'm excited to pull it out and wear it, because I thought I would try it in the summer, but it was just too much in the summer, and it was rather new to my collection. So I'm excited to give this more of a go, and I'll tell you what I think of it in the end. I have enjoyed when I've worn it, but the metallic thing is a little bit weird for me, so I have to try it a few more times for sure. But the rest of them are just so decadent, cozy, classy, alluring. Like all of them have that depth to them, and I'm in love with them all, except for the bade'e Oud Amethyst, which I'm on the fence about. Why did I put it in there? I could have picked something else. It's there now. Like, it's just there now. I regret including it. I'm sorry. Somehow it shouldn't be here. That one I'm a little iffy on, but the rest of them are like hardcore loves for me. So that is it. What about you? What are you excited to wear this fall? Please leave your selection in the comments. Maybe weigh in about bade'e Oud Amethyst. If you've tried it, tell us what you think. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.